to Good Morning Football. We are live in New York City. It is Tuesday, October 1st. My name's Kay Adams, Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager, and Kyle Brandt. Week 4 is over and done. We got your highlights here on a Tuesday.
Let's get ready to do this, Kay.
Okay.
All right.
What else is going on?
You know what else we got going on?
Tell
It is
me.
Tuesday, so Kyle has the angriest run segment, of course. I got the fanciest footwork in toe drag swag.
That's a wide receiver. Is he in angry runs or toe drag? Who knows?
It's
Maybe
a little
both.
bit of a combination there, KB. And then also, what we usually do is a little fight my five, but I'm going to pass the baton to my guy Peter Schrager so he can do his top 5 teams in the league. But we do it a unique way, so we're looking forward to what Schrags has. You know, guys.
Why we see Niners highlights?
I don't know. They didn't play.
So we have to
forget
check.
about the Niners?
You're not going to put somebody over the Patriots, are you?
Maybe.
Oh, boy.
Guys, we also have to check the waiver wire. Okay,
Yes.
school us up on what's going on with fantasy. So if
Injuries.
you want to get your lineup set up, what's going on, Kay Adams is going to hook us up with some info that we desperately need.
Let's do some Monday Night Football. We got an AFC North showdown. Bengals, Steelers, guys. Mason Rudolph is making his first home start at Heinz Field. Here's a look at the Steelers' offensive coordinator. You might know him as Ben Roethlisberger. Set up shop with the headpiece and the high fives and the bionic arm the whole time. But how was Mason Rudolph? Early off, got to start here to Deontay Johnson, who fumbled. The Bengals came out fiery in this one. Nick Vigil causes the fumble. Jesse Bates recovers. Would the Steelers recover? Well, the Bengals get a field goal. They're up 3. This is a 4th and 1. They go for it, and it had no shot. 2 straight runs with 0 chance. As Roethlisberger with a stubble game on point looks on. Tomlin furious. No offense for Pittsburgh early. So what do? Well, you start doing all kinds of stuff, including rolling out Rudolph, who's going to go to James Conner. Come on, James. Get in there, James. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Schrags, what do you think?
Well, look, this is the guy we've been waiting to break out. Maybe he didn't do it on the ground, but you still have to use him in the passing game. He's not Le'Veon Bell, but he does some things. Good play here.
We're showing air yards per attempt. It's a next-gen stat. Everything was short, and as you're going to see, it got very gimmicky. But Andy Dalton, what do you got? Look out on the backside. Bud Dupree comes in like he's raiding Le'Veon's locker for his cleats. He sacks him, strips him. TJ Watt recovers. Andy Dalton standing in, getting sacked 8 times last night. It was called the Deshaun Watson special. 8 times. Look at Andy. Andy, I feel you, man. It's been a tough season. You got a new coach. Stay at it. Wildcat offense. Why are we showing that? Because it was everywhere in this. So, Connor in motion. He's going to get the little toss from Jalen Samuels. Look at this run by James Conner. We've been waiting a month for this, guys.
That counts as a pass, Kyle.
It counts as a pass. You're right, Nate. That passing yard, it's kind of a quagmire fantasy-wise, but it works in the box score. James Conner with a great run after the catch. Very next play, we're just going to run it back. Guys, there was so much Wildcat in this game, I thought it was Ronnie Brown against the Patriots today. Jalen Samuels runs this one in.
Is that Pat White?
That's it, Pat White from West Virginia, Peter. Nice reference. But again, it was a lot of this fake to Connor, run it in. Samuels, if you don't know him, NC State, the 2018 5th-round pick.
Played tight end in college.
And look at that. And now he's playing quarterback in the pros. Mason Rudolph, do we finally get to throw one? Oh, yes, we do. And how open is Deontay Johnson? Open enough to score. Guys, this was not close. I can't lie to you. We love the Monday Night Football program. This was not a barn burner. This was not competitive. We got high fives from Ben and Rudolph, and we got hugs from all the linemen. Mason Rudolph, the stats are good, but half of those passes are at 1-foot pushes. We'll get into that. Most importantly, the Steelers are alive. They're 1 game back. They're up win 27-3. Let's hear from Rudolph after his first career win.
You know, our message all week was just stack one and then start stacking more. So that's the plan moving forward, and got a heck of a group of guys that are going to do that.
Man, our team played great tonight. Defense was all over the field, flying around, creating turnovers and big sacks. And when playing like that off of one another, get the run game going a little bit. Had the big play to Deontay, so it was cool to be a part of. And AFC, this is division play. These games are weighted different. Awesome to be a part of. Got to keep stacking it week by week.
James Conner doing his thing. Who does Mason Rudolph look like?
Well, I said Clark Kent,
Not
and then
bad.
from
He could
across the
definitely
table,
be super-
Schrags from the clouds. What'd you say?
I said Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner.
Twilight guy.
I'm Team Edward.
That's not bad, either of those. If you have any other doppelgangers, let us know at
Yeah.
Team B. Nate, what stood out to you in this win, Steelers over Bengals?
The offense. I thought that it was more creative. You know, you look at the short passes, the nickel and diamond is fine with me, but it was that Wildcat offense. You know, I was sitting there seeing, you know, Jalen Samuels back there taking those direct snaps, James Conner getting involved with the push passes, and also catching out of the backfield. You know, I didn't know if it was the Steelers or the Wildcats, if I was going to see Tomlin or Goldie Hawn from the 1986 movie
Wesley.
on the sideline. Talk about it, football. So for me, that's what I love to see, because when you have an inexperienced quarterback, you want to do as much as you can to help him out. You can't dial up the same playbook that Ben Roethlisberger plays with. So you got to mix it up. And what I saw in this game is mixing it up.
Peter, are the Steelers okay?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what to make of it because they beat a bad Bengals team last night. So I'm not sure if I'm getting up this morning as a Steelers fan. I'm thrilled, but I will say this: they're alive in an AFC North that's wide open. So now they're 1-3. The Ravens are 2-2.
Okay.
The Browns are 2-2. They play the Ravens next week. Like, a win next week, you're right back in the mix. And I don't know if they can win long term with this dink and dunk and the 7 Wildcat plays and whatever else. But they are winning, and that was a 24-point win against a division rival that does not come often or easily. I'm not going to take anything away from this team right now. They've got some juice, they've got some life, and there's some reason to watch the Steelers. There wasn't the first 3 weeks of the year.
The number that pops out is 3. The Bengals scored 3 points. The Steelers' defense is for real. They are for real. I just wonder, like, for a guy who's a really good-looking guy, Mason Rudolph, why is there so much makeup on this offense? I mean, that was really gimmicky. I mean, that's pushing here and jetting here. Like, he threw only 2 passes over 10 yards for the whole game in a game where they scored 27 points. So I actually really like the game plan. I worked against Cincinnati, but that's not sustainable. I mean, you're not gonna start beating the contenders.
That's a fair criticism.
Push passes and stuff. That's fine. And if that was their 1-week plan, then credit to them. But we got to see more. And Mason Rudolph needs to. The reason they got him is because he throws a great deep ball to James Washington, of which we've seen none. This is fine for one night, but this is not going to turn the whole team around and get them to the playoffs. I need more on offense.
You want them to unleash Mason Rudolph. From what you've seen, small sample size, can he win? Can he go downfield and take big shots?
I don't know. He turned the ball over a lot against San Francisco and then was really limited in this game. So it's a huge TBD. All I know is that the defense is fantastic, but they need 2 to be better.
I'm going to give some love to Devin Bush.
Go for it.
Part of the D.
Guys in the draft class. He is thriving. He is the on-field X's and O's fill-in for the hole that Ryan Shazier left on the field. And he had 9 tackles last night. He had his first career sack. This is a kid that I met at the draft with Taylor Lewan, and I asked him, like, tell me about this outfit. Like, what's going on? And he goes, I'm unpredictable. And that's exactly what he has been throughout this season. He's building a case for Defensive Rookie of the Year, ranking #1 among rookies in the NFL with 37 tackles this season. He's all over the field. He's tied for the league lead with 3 fumble recoveries this year.
Wow.
He is incredible, and I would not be surprised if he's your Defensive Rookie of the Year guy.
He plays at a high level.
Unpredictable this season, too.
Yeah.
But Bush was awesome last night.
He's back.
He is back. They got him just in time.
Let's take a look at the AFC North standings. Even though it was their first win of the season, the Steelers still, as Schrager said, 1 game out of first place. So in this incredibly close division, Schrags, who's standing out?
I'm curious what to see with the Ravens this week, because the first 2 weeks we did a parade for the Baltimore Ravens offense, how good Lamar was, and, you know, they suffocated the Dolphins and the Cardinals. Well, you look at the Dolphins and the Cardinals right now, and any team can suffocate the Dolphins and the Cardinals. In the last 2 weeks, the Ravens, they got run all over. I mean, the Chiefs absolutely put a whooping on them. And then, obviously, this past game, Nick Chubb is still running up and down M&T Bank Stadium. So I look at the Ravens' defense, because that's what's in their pride. And, you know, you lose an Eric Weddle. You lose a C.J. Mosley. You lose a Zadarius Smith. You lose a Terrell Suggs. And the first 2 weeks, we're like, all right, it's okay, it's fine. Look at those numbers. This isn't the same unit. I think Wink Martindale is waking up this morning looking at that Steelers gimmick offense last night, and it's like, okay, we've got to prepare for a lot of things. But the Ravens, as much as we love Lamar, if the defense doesn't wake up and get back to what they used to be, I've got some serious concerns that they're going to be playing some relevant football in a couple months.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they did lose a lot of guys. And I saw Earl Thomas had to have a conversation with John Harbaugh about why he pulled up on that Nick Chubb run. So he needs to be better. But I'm going to go to the team who's on the other side of the game. I'll go to Cleveland. Baltimore showed up early to the party, started doing shots, got a little ahead of themselves. Cleveland arrived slow. There's a sense with the Browns that I like. They're untapped still. Like, they're still warming up. I always point to this. In the middle of the season, they're going to get Kareem Hunt. And at some point, they're going to get Odell Beckham Jr. He's out there. He's not doing a ton. And if Freddie Kitchens is worth the Spurs and as an offensive coach, he'll get Odell involved. Fascinating schedule coming up the next 3 weeks for the Browns. Niners, Seahawks, Patriots. It's not pretty. If they can get through and win 2, maybe even 1 of those, it's real soft in the back end. I still think their best football is ahead of them. Whereas the Ravens, I don't know. It felt like they peaked in about week 2. Like, you better get back on that horse. The Browns are coming.
Yeah, Shregs, you mentioned that the first part of the season we were throwing a parade for the Baltimore Ravens. Rightfully so. They looked good those first couple weeks. Well, there were parts of the first quarter of the season where we were basically planning a funeral for the Cleveland Browns. And while we were sitting there trying to put dirt on their casket, Baker Mayfield was sitting up like the Undertaker.
Undertaker.gif. I like it.
You know what?
Yep.
I'm good. We're not dead. We're still alive. And I like the fact that he didn't waver. And he came out and talked about it. And this past weekend was a message to everybody. And Kyle, you know what? You are right. Nick Chubb showed us what he can do. Jarvis Landry had an amazing game, which we're not mentioning, but he went off. So if they can keep him at that same level, Odell Beckham steps up. The tight ends start making plays. The defense is already phenomenal. I'm still with the Browns on this. I said in the summer, just like I said over the last few summers, that the Browns will win the AFC North. Maybe this year they'll prove me right. But we'll see, though. It is early. Let's see how they respond to success, because we already saw how they respond to failure this first quarter of the season.
We've got angry runs on the way, more highlights, of course, toe drag swag. The guys are going downstairs to perform some sort of play.
A miracle.
Miraculous play.
Hallelujah.
But if there's one theme so far this season, it is quarterback carousel. Guys coming off the bench and crushing it. Is this kid